Hey friends, I wanted to take you on my first official walkthrough of the cottage garden. It's already June 28th and I had all intentions to take all of these before videos, and then you know how it goes. So next year I'll do better, but this is my first one of the whole summer, 2022. So we have the entrance here. I have morning glories going over the trellis that I grew from seed, and I'm so excited about that. It's just a happy little entrance. And for those of you who are new, we built this cottage garden. This was all grass last year, and it was quite the endeavor, and I actually blogged about it, so I'll put the link on how we created this cottage garden. I'll put that down in the links below. All right, so I wanted to go through and just tell you all the flowers that I have in here, and this is for me as well because I want to see the progress, and it's so important for me to remember kind of where everything has come from. So right when you walk in, I have cosmos, and these are really special because I planted some sunset cosmos, which were my Baba's favorite, and so those are really special to me. And the rest are just some pink mixes. We have some pink hollyhock and some black hollyhock, bee balm, butterfly bush, and that's a pink one, so it's so pretty. I have some moss rose hanging in the basket there. That's a massive, ridiculous thing of fennel that I think I need to thin out. I love fennel when it blooms and when it goes to seed. It's so beautiful, but it's gonna be too big there. Right here on the ground we have creeping thyme and echinacea. And then we have zinnia, which I love planting the zinnia right here because these are like the 3 to 4 foot tall zinnia. They will get really big. There's Roman or German chamomile right behind that. And this is a tick seed coreopsis that is just starting to bloom. Some bright blue delphinium right there, and more zinnia just kind of sprinkled throughout. Over here we have a volunteer sunfinity sunflower, and then these are so funky and fun. This is a kiwi blue. Oh, it's late now. I'm totally drawing a blank on the honeywort. Kiwi blue honeywort, and I can't wait to show you guys the flowers on that. It gets these really strange kind of downward facing flowers, and I grew those. I grew them from seed. I'm such a dork about growing things from seed, you guys, because this is my first big year of doing that. Snapdragons back there. This is some veronica and some coneflower, Korean feathergrass, and more zinnias. I have lots of zinnias and lots of sunflowers because they're my fave. This is a volunteer mammoth sunflower. There was one right in that spot last year and it dropped seed, decided to come back. Bunch of tall zinnias here. And then I have sedum, which is just starting to bloom pink. And then the orange hyssop, which is one of my favorite color combos you'll see repeated in my garden a lot, is the pink and orange, or pink, orange, purple. These are, I always forget the name, butterfly something, and they're so whimsical and fun. Daylilies, which are just starting to come into bloom, but they're purple and orange and fun. This is a purple sedum that I love. I don't know why I'm so obsessed with it. It's just so dark purple and so pretty. Just today I threw in some of these moss rose in here, and apparently I threw oh, you guys are so naughty. You see these flea beetles are eating my nasturtium. This is why I can't put them out here. I'm gonna go get some diatomaceous earth and sprinkle it all around, and also dust the leaves to get those flea beetles gone. So if you have flea beetles, diatomaceous earth. There's a hollyhock, sage, a rose. There's some lupin that I don't know if it's gonna do well or not. Some grass, and a bunch of sunflowers. I love these sunflowers. I just love big things, and I love that they are volunteers and they just came back so strong. We have a really fun experiment going on with pinching back these branching sunflowers. I'll show you guys right up here. We have more, and we'll show you the difference between the branching or between pinching it off and not. We have splendens. This is a big sage that came back last year. I should say a lot of, I don't know how much percentage, maybe 65%, that's really weirdly specific, came back from last year, and the rest I had to replant. We had a really dry, cold winter, and so a lot of these first year perennials did not come back. This is a black-eyed Susan, another sage, coneflower, a balloon plant or balloon flower, and I forget your name, sorry, you're just like forgettable. This is one of my favorites. This is a heuchera, and I forget the variety of it, but it's one of the dark purple with the pink splatters. And some more hyssop. And there's a blue jay Pacific giant delphinium that is just about to bloom. I'm excited. And this one is called a monkshood. And that was a new one to me too. I love planting new things that I've never planted before. This coneflower was actually supposed to be a Cheyenne spirit coneflower. It is not, but it is beautiful. I love the yellow that turns to kind of the white color. That's really fun. And then this is a Russian sage that came back from last year, and this one will get purple tips on it that will then stay really through the end of the season, which adds such fun color. If you don't have, oops, sorry, I went wide angle on you. Maybe that'll be better. If you're not familiar with Russian sage, it's a great one for the cottage garden. If we go over here, we have more coneflowers. We have my big hollyhock that came back from last year. Hi, baby. It's just getting ready to bloom. There were actually 2 or 3 hollyhocks in this bed, and this is the only one that came back. Now, I think I was a little overzealous when it came to cleaning out the beds, and I think that more would have come back had I been a little bit more patient. But we had a really long winter, and spring was pretty much non-existent, and a lot of things did not come back until late May, June, and it was very strange. So now I know better. I planted these sunflowers, and I forget what they are, but there's some fancy breed of foxglove that is not having a good day. This is a summer pastel yarrow that came back from last year. It's so soft. And then to kind of match that, I did a really soft pastel cosmos down here and a cupcake white cosmos, which are just taken off, just barely. We built this deck so we can sit out here. It's just a very simple deck right now. Right here, there's a trumpet vine growing, but that pole needs to be moved because it's kind of right in my way of view when I'm looking at the garden. So we're gonna move it back toward the barn. And I just have some containers out here, and it's always fun because the goats and the chickens play back here in the barnyard, and so we're always really close by them, which I love. All right, what do we have down this row? I love the milkweed. The milkweed is just now, the monarch caterpillars are starting to find it. This one, I'm so pleased it didn't actually just croak today. We actually are making a different bed up by the house, and this is a bachelor button that was here, and it was the previous owners, and it just is nostalgic for me. And so we know them well and just love them, and so I'm excited for hopefully that will that will not die. Beard tongue, that's variegated sage. I love anything with variegation. It just gives it so much pizzazz. This is another honeywort and another sage and a rose bush. Roses, we get along sometimes. We'll see how that one does this year. This is a poppy that is super late to the party. He decided to come back really late. This right here is my wild bed. This in the spring puts on quite the show because it starts off with rhubarb, and then asparagus comes in, and then the Shasta daisies, and then the milkweed, and then what else comes in? Oh, coneflowers, like massive coneflowers. And then I have planted other things in here. Wow, that milkweed got enormous. I've planted a honeywort and some salvia and some other things in there, but it's wild. And I don't even attempt to tame it, because I gotta leave those asparagus, and it is what it is. I love it. In this bed, we have the dahlia right there in the front. Last year, you guys, I grew the most beautiful dahlia right there. And I took such great care, and I followed Florette's, directions on how to save your dahlia seeds or dahlia tubers. And I put them in a box so carefully. You guys, I was so careful, and mice ate them over the winter. That was like the first tears of 2022, was when the mice ate the dahlia tubers. Will you cry with me? Okay. It was really sad. So I found this one, and we're gonna do better this year. We're gonna put them in a sealed tote, not a box. Got some more creeping time. I love how it creeps. It's so fun. And then we have some more salvia, and then catmint and a rose. And this color combo, I love it. These have just recently started to the blooms are gone, but the catmint, that purple is so dramatic and fun. This will be more zinnia. This rose is so fun to watch because it changes colors so much as it goes from orange to pink to whites with the sun, and it's my fave. Another German chamomile right here. Here are some Johnny jump ups that got fried to a crisp when I planted them. Hooray. I'm trying to grow a climbing rose up this obelisk, and I think that might be a next year thing because it's going to take a while to get established, but I'm excited about that. It's called Fruity Petals. I'm excited. Here's my glorious delphinium, which are just reached the top, and they're starting to go bad on the bottom, but it's got all these new shoots coming up, and this was one from last year, and so it's really coming in strong. And then I have my mullein, which, hi Maya, I have a whole bunch of mullein back there. Let's see if I can zoom in good. And then I have some new mullein that these are all kind of getting shrivelly. Well, not focusing. Come on. Boop, boop. I know how to run a phone. All right, and then mullein. Lots of mullein, lots of yarrow, lots of sunflowers, more zinnias. When you come up here, there's more zinnias. Did I say I like zinnias? Or zinnias? How do you guys pronounce it? It just kind of depends. There's another fennel. That's gonna be not there. Hollyhock, sage, bee balm, and a rose. And that's it. Around this corner we have red raspberry, a clematis. This is actually one of the original farm pump that catches rainwater, and that's pretty rad. We don't use it right now because we don't have any way to get it out, but we need to get a pump to get it out. And then here are the sunflowers I was talking about. So when you have a branching sunflower, if you pinch it when it's small, so by pinching it, if you don't know what that means, when it was little, I cut off the top, and right there, see where I cut it off? And then it shot out all these other branches. And so it's far more branchy and more bushy than these. And these are the exact same plant. Isn't that crazy? And I pinched it when those were the same size. And so I think that the nursery that I got my first Sunfinity at, it had pinched it, and that's why it was so branchy. It's just so interesting to me. So it'll be fun to see how these do. I pinched that one, so that one's more bushy. You guys, I had so many of these in here because I'm really bad at thinning. I don't like to kill just totally perfect plants. There's some snapdragons that I grew from seed in here, and this little teeny tiny dahlia. Are you gonna grow, baby? It's supposed to be a big dahlia. You need to grow. You're pretty. Okay, what did I miss? Oh, let me stand up and give you a little panorama. So this is my happy place. I love being out here. I love watching it change. And it is gonna get massive in here, which is gonna be so fun. And for those who don't know, or this is your first time seeing my garden, there is the veggie garden right attached to the cottage garden. And I will do more videos on that. But this is just the cottage garden for now. But we do have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 raised beds, 9, 10, 11 raised beds, and then we just put in these new troughs to make more garden, because we need more garden. Everybody needs more garden. Okay, friends, I think that's it. I'm like, I don't have, I don't even know what I look like, so I don't think I'm gonna turn the camera around. I think I have mosquito bites all over my face. But thank you for joining this tour, and I hope you'll come back to see how the garden has fared throughout the summer. Good night, friends.